We're ready to get the motor ready to put into the model. We're going to need the motor from the last step. We're going to need the motor plate from the very first step. We're going to need the clutch parts that we removed from the last step. From the kit, we're going to need the motor mount, 4 M5 socket head bolts, the special starter yoke, and 2 special spacers. What you won't need from the original kit are these 2 flat washers. You can see there were 4 washers off the original clutch, 2 with larger holes and 2 with smaller holes. The 2 smaller holes, we won't need those. You'll also need a 10mm wrench, a 14mm wrench, an M4 hex driver, blue thread lock, and a light grease. I like to use the synthetic hydrogen that Miniature Aircraft sells. We want to put the clutch plate back on the motor. This just drops over the crankshaft like it did originally. Still got the piston pin stop in place. You want to turn the motor clockwise until it bottoms out on the piston pin. Take your 10mm wrench, simply tighten this bolt up. I already have blue thread lock on it. You don't want to go crazy with this bolt because you can snap the head off of it, and once you do that you're going to have to drill the other end out of the crankshaft. It can be quite messy. Now we can put the motor mount on. This is out of the kit. You can see it has like a bow tie cutout in it. That simply goes right over this clutch plate. We're going to take the M5 bolts, thread them into the motor. You're going to want to use blue thread lock on these. The motor mount is symmetrical. It won't matter which direction or which orientation you mount it, only that it's in this direction. You want to tighten up these bolts using blue thread lock. I recommend you install the bolts in an X pattern because this is going to fit really tight because its alignment is important. We're going to put the clutch on in this step. Take the clutch from the previous step. Take a look at it. You'll see there's a couple of arrows that have been made into the shoes themselves. Those face up. They show you the direction it's going to rotate, which is counterclockwise. Keep that in mind. Set this here. You'll need the yoke that came in the kit. You're going to take the bolts from the original clutch, these shouldered bolts, push them through like so. Take the 2 spring washers, drop them over. They'll fit over the shoulders. Take the clutch shoes with the arrows facing you, flip it over on top of these bolts. Now this requires that you reposition the clutch a little bit, so it's a little bit tough to get these in. It'll take a fair amount of pressure to push them through. Once you have them pushed in, this plate the yoke will be flush against the clutch. Again, flip it over. The arrows are on the same side as the yoke. Flip it over, take the 2 special spacers. They go over the bolts. And into the shoes. And this fits tight over the bolt. There's not much clearance. You'll need to push these into place. Okay, go back to our motor. We're going to take this, drops onto the motor. You line up the 2 bolts onto the 2 holes in the clutch plate. And you use the 14mm open end. You can't get a socket over these because it won't fit. 14mm open end. Put some blue thread lock on the threads and then tighten this down all the way. Tightening these bolts down is a little bit tedious because they're fairly long and you really can't turn the bolt more than about 1/4 of a turn at a time. So it takes a little while. Take your time, get them good and tight. Since the piston pin lock is still in place, it was easy to do that. But we're done with that, so you can take that out. And you're going to take the grease we talked about earlier, put a small amount in this bearing. It's going to be used later when we put the start shaft in. We're ready to mount the motor to the motor plate, again, that we put together in step 1. It uses the fan shroud bolts to attach. These 4 bolts around the shroud, they're M5 bolts. You're going to use your M4 driver to take them completely out. The shroud won't fall off because it's held to the motor with these 2 Phillips head screws on the top. Ready to install the plate. I've got the bolts out. As we talked about, this cutout is actually the key to alignment. This is the top of the plate. Simply goes over the motor, drops into place. It'll really only fit one way. Install these 4 bolts, use thread lock, tighten them down. You can fully tighten them at this point. And when this is fully tight, motor's mounted to the plate. This is the rear of the model. It's ready to be installed into the chassis. I'm purposely leaving the spark plug out at this point because we're going to be turning the motor over in the next step for a final alignment.